Hello everyone, welcome back to DSP versus the Internet, episode 46 for January 7th, 2024, the first React show of the year. So far, the Ultra member submissions have been quite good. Let's see what we've got remaining, and then we're going to move on to the standard submission. So I think there's only 2 Ultra members left. Let's see here. That was it? That was literally it? That was the whole video. I felt like that one should have went on longer, right? It was entertaining. I wish it went on for like another 2 minutes. It was so fast. In fact, it was so fast, I'm going to watch it again. Alright. And now we have another weird one. Ready? What the fuck are we watching? What the fuck is this? What the hell is this? I don't know, but now we're done with the Ultra videos. I was trying to pause. You can see YouTube is so bad it wouldn't even let me pause the fucking... Look, it still won't pause. What a piece of shit. I have no idea what we just watched. But now it's time to go to the standard video. So let's go ahead and set that playlist up for everybody here. Wow. Okay, then. Let's go back.
I just lost control of my bike.
Okay. Ready? So, we have moved on from the Ultra member submissions. These are now standard member submissions, meaning standard members of this channel randomly posted up this week. They're now in a randomized playlist. We're going to watch some. We may mix it up because this randomized playlist sadly doesn't stay random. It kind of mixes it and then all of a sudden they go in order again. So we'll see. We shall see what we have here and go from here. What about my video? You never watched my video. Are you an Ultra member? Are you an Ultra member of the channel? You are a member, but I don't know if you're an Ultra member. Did you post up in the Ultra member thread? Because I did these playlists last night. So I don't know what you're talking about. Every single Ultra member submission was approved this week and was put into that playlist, and I just watched them all. So if you were missed, did you post in the right spot? Did you post before last night? Because remember, these playlists is made last night right after my late stream. So I don't know what to tell you. You maybe put it in the wrong thread. I don't know what else to say. I don't know. You posted 2 videos into the community tab 3 days ago. Well, first of all, Ultra members only get 1 submission. And Ultra members have to put it in the Ultra member thread. There's 2 threads, Ultra and Standard. It sounds like you posted 2 videos in the Standard thread. So that's why we didn't watch your submission. I think we figured it out. I think we came to the solution. So now, later tonight or tomorrow, I'm going to post up the threads for next week's show. There's going to be 3 threads, Ultra, Super, Standard. Be sure to post up your guaranteed to be watched video in the Ultra thread, and then you also get 2 other nominations in the standard thread. Okay? Okay. Cool. Let's continue.
I just lost control of my bike and crashed. Only skinned my knee a little bit. Nothing too bad.
Jesus H. Christ, my little baby! That's it. No more bike riding for you. Not today. Not ever.
Mom, it doesn't hurt too bad. I love my bike. I just fell.
Break your ass.
So I guess it was supposed to be he was listening to the radio, and then he crashed on the bike during the bike commercial. Okay. Okay, let's see what this is. I am not drunk.
Mark! I can't believe how drunk you are.
I am not drunk.
Yes, you are.
I am not fucking drunk.
Can you tell the time?
Yes. I am not.
This is Willis, aka Blue Scooty, setting a new world record for the longest game of NES Tetris by getting the first ever level 157. But something unexpected is about to happen.
I heard about this story, but I don't know what unexpected happened. Let's find out.
He just became the first person ever to trigger a game crash, reaching the true kill screen, which is by far the biggest achievement in the 34-year-old history of the Pro Classic Tetris scene.
Wow.
So why is this such a big deal? And can a record like this ever be broken? To answer both those questions, we need to go back and start with the first unbeatable barrier in the game.
Interesting. So I don't know anything about this. I heard about this happening, but I don't know anything about proper Tetris competition or why it was such a big deal or why it took so long for it to happen. So I guess let's find out. I'd be fascinated to find this out. Here we go.
In NES Tetris, released for the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1989, the goal is to assemble falling blocks to clear complete lines. For every 10 lines cleared, you move up a level and the speed gets a little bit faster.
Okay.
The fastest speed is reached at level 29, and at this point the pieces can no longer reliably get to the sides by holding down the side-to-side buttons. For decades, this was considered the end of the game, and level 29 got dubbed the kill screen because it always killed your run.
Okay.
Except it wasn't a kill screen in the traditional sense. In retro games, a kill screen normally refers to when it's impossible to get any further due to a glitch in the game's code.
Right.
For example, in Pac-Man, the kill screen is reached at level 256, where a glitch garbles the entire right side of the screen and you aren't able to eat enough white dots to clear the level. NES Tetris doesn't actually have a glitch at level 29. The level is clearable if you can somehow figure out a way to move the pieces faster. And in 2011, Thor Ackerlund became the first person to reach level 30 on video by vibrating his fingers to mash the controller faster than the game's built-in speed, a technique known as hyper tapping. And because level 29 is the maximum speed in the game, all the levels afterwards don't get any faster, so it was theoretically possible to go even higher. Thor's level world record would stand for 7 years, until a teenage hyper tapping prodigy, Joseph Saley, broke it in 2018 by becoming the first player to reach level 31. Joseph's skill would allow him to win 2 Tetris World Championship titles.
Oh, I saw that video too. I saw that video where he was very impressed by his skill. I saw that. Okay. All right, enjoy your permanent ban. Person trying to derail my stream. Enjoy. Okay. What an idiot.
In 2019, and he slowly kept pushing the level world record upwards all the way to level 35, until an even faster hyper tapper, Eric ICX, came along and became the first to reach levels 37 and 38. Now this was light years ahead of what anyone would have expected when the game first came out, but overall progress on the record was still slow because hyper tapping only barely made level 29 speed possible.
I'm trying to understand the idea of hyper tapping. So what they're saying is, if you just held the direction, the game would have a limited amount of movement. But if you tap instead, it would move faster. So, for example, the difference between holding right when you're playing Street Fighter and your character's walking, or if you tap, it runs. So, actually, there was an unintended speed boost by tapping rather than holding. So now I'm sure everyone who plays competitively taps. No one holds. Everyone just taps, right? Okay.
Deep runs into the 30s still required getting good luck with the pieces and near perfect placements with almost zero margin for error. In order to truly push things a lot further, some kind of breakthrough was needed. But then a new technique came along that would change everything.
All right, another new technique. The roll apocalypse.
In 2020, a Tetris player named Cheese watched a video on various button mashing strategies and had the epiphany to combine a multi-finger technique by Hector Fly done on arcade cabinets and another technique that used a finger on the bottom of the controller to push it into another finger on the top. He called this new technique rolling, and it allowed him to easily reach button mashing speeds over twice as fast as the quickest hyper tappers. He became the first player to ever reach level 40.
Oh my God.
Although a hyper tapper named Alex Thatch would end up taking the record back, he would be the last tapper ever to do so. Over the next few months, there was a flurry of new records as most of the top players in the scene switched over to the new rolling technique, culminating in Eric ICX, now a roller, shattering the record in 2021 by making it all the way to level 95. With the fastest speed in the game now fully mastered, it seemed like the sky was the limit for how far players could go, but an even bigger challenge than speed was looming on the horizon.
So now, this is wild. So now, they're really destroying the NES controller at this point, right? So by holding it from the underside and doing this move of your fingers and just holding like this, it makes it move even faster than manually tapping. So they found all these different ways to make taps actively move the Tetris block differently. The funny part is it might only work on Tetris, right? Maybe it only works on Tetris because it's about the programming of the game. Other games, it might not do anything. Huh. This is a wild history already.
NES Tetris was originally designed with 10 normal-looking color palettes for levels 0 to 9 that were bright, colorful, and easily visible.
Okay.
Every time you go up 10 levels, the game then loops back around to the first color scheme. But because this game was coded in the 1980s, everything is written to try and be extremely memory efficient. So the line of code that's supposed to determine the level color glitches out starting at level 138 and starts pulling data from outside the color table, resulting in a bunch of random, bizarre color palettes that can be difficult to see. If you're into code and wondering exactly how and why this happens, Hydrant Dude has a great 2-minute explainer video on the subject that I'll link in the description. Obviously, the colors glitch wasn't a problem when the game first came out because making it to level 138 would have been a pipe dream. But now, players were actually on the verge of getting there. Technically, the first player to reach the glitch colors was Fractal161, but he opted to go for it on the much lesser played PAL version of the game, which runs 20% slower than the much more common NTSC version that is used in the World Championships and most of the main leaderboards, including this one. Eric ICX became the first person to achieve glitched colors on the NTSC version, impressively managing to get it in an actual tournament match and making it all the way to level 146 before a particularly dim level cost him to top out. He ended up winning the 2022 World Championships a few months later. But now the combination of challenges with visibility and sheer endurance were starting to seriously slow down progress again, as Eric's world record game had lasted nearly 40 minutes.
Wow.
It took over a year before anyone was able to get past the dim level that had taken out Eric. And when a player named Pixel Andy finally managed to beat it, he got taken out by an even more difficult level featuring pieces that were nearly pitch black.
Oh my God!
I can't see it.
How are you supposed to play that?
I couldn't see it.
You can't see the blocks
on my screen. It just went
fucking
dark.
black and
So
white.
what was the future of the record? Slow incremental progress at increasingly difficult to see levels? Well, it turns out the most significant achievement yet was closer than
Oh my
anyone
God,
thought.
this is a crazy story. So now the true kill screen.
Back in 2021, a programmer Greg Cannon made a Tetris-playing AI called Stack Rabbit in order to push the game far beyond what was possible for a human. Not limited by stamina or eyesight, Stack Rabbit was able to fly past the most difficult glitched color levels with ease, and Greg ended up coining names for each of the color schemes as they passed, such as calling the dim level that took out Eric Dusk, and the black level that took out Andy Charcoal. Stack Rabbit would continue to play through even more bizarre glitches that happened later on, such as level 235, which lasts for 800 lines instead of the typical 10. But eventually, the game just can't function anymore.
And there's the long bar, and it's gonna crash the game with that Tetris into level 237. Its final score is 102 million.
So what's going on here? In the simplest possible terms, the game is running on code, which is instructions on what to do next, and RAM, which is its workspace where it calculates things and keeps track of what it's doing. The game's code starts to become really inefficient on very high levels, because no one was expected to get this far, and eventually a glitch happens where the game switches from reading instructions from the code to reading the RAM as if it were code. If the resulting garble generates a stop command, it completely breaks the game, leading to it being called the true kill screen. If you want the full technical breakdown, again, Hydrant Dude has a great video on the topic that I'll link in the description. But here's the thing. The game crash doesn't always happen in the same spot, because the glitch can get triggered by very specific things depending on the level, such as what piece you have or how many lines you clear at once. And Stack Rabbit was actually playing on a modified version of the game that has 7 digits in the score counter instead of 6, so it didn't have the same crash spots as an unmodified version. In 2022, there was a massive effort put into researching the mechanics of the crash, and Hydrant Dude made a spreadsheet tallying up every possible situation that could cause the crash to be triggered. Yeah, I know, the same guy again. This guy's the MVP of documenting all this stuff. And it turns out that the earliest possible trigger for the crash on the unmodified original version of the game was a single at the transition into level 155. That actually wasn't too far off from the world record. A human might actually be able to do that, provided they could get through Dusk and Charcoal. In 2023, after Fractal won the World Championships and firmly established himself as the best current player in the scene, he decided to start live streaming daily attempts to get the crash. But on the very first night of his grind, a player named Blue Scooty shocked the scene by being the first player to ever beat Charcoal and make it all the way to level 153. Not only did this set a new level world record and score world record to boot, it was only 18 lines away from the first crash. Scooty was a newer player in the scene who'd recently been on a meteoric rise, achieving a surprise semifinals finish in the 2023 World Championships. And after getting the record, he decided to challenge Fractal and start grinding for the game crash himself, and later said in an interview,
"You know, I just thought if I was so close, I might as well race him for it and try and beat him to the crash."
But Fractal looked like he could be getting it at any moment. Less than 24 hours later, on day 2 of the grind, he had a game early on that went all the way to the level right before the glitched colors.
Are you ready? Oh, okay.
Later on in the night, he succeeded in getting to the glitched colors, but then disaster struck when he hit Dusk.
Oh my god. No, I got completely blindsided.
Yeah, that's it.
Despite not getting the game crash, this game would actually end up taking back the score world record from Blue Scooty. On day 3, Fractal started up again, ready for another evening.
That's so crazy.
But just 20 minutes into the stream,
documentary.
the chat alerted him that Blue Scooty was currently on a big run.
Wait, what is Scooty at right now? Oh my god.
Blue Scooty was on a roll, having reached the glitched colors and easily coasted through Dusk with a low board. Next up was Charcoal. He had a little bit of trouble at the beginning, but managed to clutch a line piece to the left to get the stack down to complete the level. Now it was just a matter of carrying the game to the finish line. He slowly kept downing levels, passing his old record and making it to 154. This was it! He just needed a single on the final line clear to get it. But then 4 lines in, he misdropped. Now in dig mode, he started optimizing his stack for survival instead of singles. He managed to open his board just in time to fill the long bar dependency, but oh no!
I missed it.
He'd accidentally passed the crash trigger by clearing a triple instead of a single. Scooty marched onward, unsure of when he'd get another chance.
Oh my god, just please crash.
The next available target was on level 157.
Oh my
where
god,
every
it's so
one
insane.
Line clear would have a 73%
It's so
chance
complex.
of
It's so
triggering the
complex and insane for an ancient game from the 80s, right? But this is what happens. Like, people find this stuff years and years and years later as technology advances, time advances. Let's be honest. Without the internet sharing all this knowledge, how would anyone have figured this shit out? Right? So I mean, things have changed. I would be fascinated. Like, imagine if today you find new techniques for like ancient fighting games and shit too. It's probably very possible, right?
crash. But as Scooty entered the level, he suddenly started to misdrop again. Nothing was clearing any lines, his chances were slipping away. But in a last-ditch effort with a J piece to the left, it happened. Immediately, reactions poured in from the rest of the community.
He did it! He did it!
Wait! He got it! Oh my god! Let's go!
The truly crazy thing about this achievement is that NES Tetris had always been considered an unbeatable game. No matter how good you played, eventually your board would reach the top of the screen and the game would be over. This was the first time ever where instead of the game beating the player had beaten the game. And this really feels like a turning point for the scene as a whole. At the time Cheese invented the new rolling play style, he expressed concern that it was too OP and would eventually destroy the scene. But instead, it's caused the scene to have a complete renaissance. Concerns about tournament games going too long due to endless lineouts have instead been replaced by ROM patches adding a new faster speed at level 39 that resulted in exciting battles for bigger line clears that are worth more points. The level and score world records, once thought to be getting stale as they turned into a mere endurance challenge, had suddenly given us the most exciting record chase the community had ever seen, with the world records changing hands multiple times in a single week.
Wow.
And now that the game crash has officially happened, there's a ton of possibilities of where the record chasing can go from here. Players could go for speedrunning the crash or trying to get the highest possible score before it.
No, Fractal, he said that he was interested in going for an efficient game crash. So I think he's definitely going to be coming back for the world record.
If he's gonna go for an efficient game crash, then I might as well, too.
And Blue Scooty, as a person, feels like a representation of the very best of what the community is. At live events, he's always been a cheerful and gracious competitor, and he's shown that hard work really can pay off, as he's said that he practices around 3 to 5 hours a day.
Shit.
Do you have anything to say
Every
to
day.
the
And you know what? That, for any kind of competition, but for video games, it's the same. You have to play that shit every day, regularly, to be good. I know that from Street Fighter. That's why I don't think I would ever have gotten to the level where most of these pro Street Fighter players have gotten. I'd never committed that much, you know? For me, Street Fighter was always play on the weekends. Play it when I have time. Not, play 3 to 5 hours minimum every day, you know? Anyway, that was fascinating. I'm glad we watched that. Whoever submitted that, thumbs up to you, because that was an awesome story. I wanted to know the story because I had heard about it in the news, and that's cool to hear. What's so insanely cool is that because of modern technology, like the modern internet, right, that now we have situations where old things can now change over time, correct? Like, this is a game that everyone thought we'd seen the epitome of this game in the 80s, then the 90s, then 2010, there was that new record. And now, all of a sudden, because of the internet, you got new stuff going on in competition. So, it's pretty wild, no? All right, that was a good story. Thank you for submitting that. And on to the next part of DSP versus the internet. I hope that you guys are enjoying it. See you in the next one.